Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Nerd Ledger. I am Cage. That is Chair.
Sup?
Sup? How's it going, sir?
Good. How are you?
Oh, hey, we're just soldiering on out here. It's been a minute. We haven't talked to each other for like
Two
ever.
weeks.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, there's not really been much news. Other than like there's some antitrust stuff still going on with Paramount trying to acquire HBO and Warner Brothers as a whole and all that stuff. But they're pretty optimistic about everything, and they have promised 7 week release windows for movies in theaters next year. So I mean, cool, I guess. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of that, there was some news. There's some kind of study or something that was done on who's going to see movies and can Gen Z save movie theaters? Do you think Gen Z could potentially save movie theaters, Mr. Chair? I'll take that as a no.
Yeah. I think they can.
Well, yeah, so essentially this article is about that it's titled "Can Gen Z Save Hollywood?" Um, and the kind of tagline is that they love PG movies, they buy tickets with the whole family and post their reviews on social media, and they are the primary customers at movie theaters. Um, we had last year Zootopia 2 being the top grossing 2025 film, even ahead of Avatar Fire and Ash, collecting $1.86 billion in worldwide ticket sales. Disney's live action Lilo and Stitch placed among the three movies to cross $1 billion last year. This year brought more surprises. Iron Lung, a tiny asteroid of a movie, self-released by YouTuber star Mark Fishbach, aka Markiplier, that stunned with $40 million in Paramount's Pan Screen 7, which defied logic in opening to $64 million, a franchise best and $20 million ahead of expectations. On the specialty side, there's Neon's foreign language films A Sentimental Value and A Secret Agent, which are both competing in the Oscar Best Picture race and hovering in the $4 million to $6 million range. That's not that. Hey, listen, $4 to $6 million. You can't throw that in there just because there's Oscar buzz. Okay, that's kind of irrelevant. Let's be honest. The common denominator amongst all of that is Zoomers, aka Gen Z, whom some had written off as anti-moviegoing since they were the first generation to bond 24/7 with an iPhone or other devices. Yes, social media has them craving a collective experience, resulting in a rise in theater going among those born between 1997 and 2012. Generation Z is ironically drawn to the classic analog experience of going to the movie theater, says ComScore's Paul Dergarabedian. They are able to blend this traditional activity with their digital lives, using theater outings as fodder for social engagement. When you look at U.S. moviegoing by key demos, Gen Z is becoming a larger share of total audience of cinema goers as millennials step back. So, looking back at like 2019, millennials is about 42%. Now it's down to 32%. Gen Z has risen from 34 to 39. So not at the peak of where millennials were. Gen X has been pretty stagnant at about 17% for the last 6 years. Gen Z are becoming a larger share, blah, 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 blah. When you look at the kind of movies that they're going to, it is those, PG kind of movies. There's this whole study done. It's pretty interesting. Do you think it'll be enough for the movie theaters to bounce back, or do you think you think one day movie theaters will just disappear?
I don't think they're ever going to disappear. I think there will always be movie theaters. I just think that there'll be a lot less of them than we're used to.
Yeah, I think that is very fair. Um,
Like in here in like the Bay Area where I'm in Brentwood, the Brentwood kind of area, there's like 4 or 5 different theaters within a stone's throw of each other. I think it's gonna come down to like there's only gonna be one theater, like one big AMC, and then that's the one that everybody goes to. And then they're closing down there's like the Deer Valley AMC too that I think is getting closed down, the one in Antioch.
well, because nobody wants to go to
Like
Antioch.
yeah, but it's I just think that movie theaters will always be a thing. I think seeing a movie in a movie theater is a quintessential experience for any culture, any person. There are movie theaters all over the world now. I think seeing a movie, getting some popcorn, having a nice beverage is a very universal experience. And yeah, I think it's just I think there'll always be movie theaters.
Yeah. I don't disagree, and hopefully, with more younger people going to movies, it helps to bolster that. It helps to keep. And the thing is that there are still films that are gonna be like experiences that you want to go and see them in theaters, right? Like the Mandalorian and Grogu is gonna be. It's gonna feel like more of an event. Doomsday is gonna be massive this year for moviegoers. There's a lot of conversations we could have around Doomsday and anxiety around how well it's gonna how well they're gonna do that kind of story with Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, but it's still gonna be a massive thing for moviegoers, right? So as long as studios keep making massive movies that we want to see, I don't think there will be very much of a problem there. Um, have we ever talked about free markets?
Sure, couple maybe.
What
I don't know.
what is your general opinion on like free market versus non-free market kind of stuff?
I think it's cool for some things, and for other things that like when you put a price on someone's like let's say their personal health, like their actual physical health, and you you commodify things that they need to live. And like my mother is diabetic, and if she didn't get her insulin, her feet would fall off, and I don't understand why someone needs to pay for that, especially in the modern age. Things like that. I think that but other things, I think it's really cool.
Yeah. Um, when you have free markets, there are opportunities for the big guys sometime to crush all the small guys, right? Which is why there are antitrust laws and things like that, which
Yeah.
are obviously not a part of the free market. That's regulation that comes in and kind of helps dictate what big businesses are allowed to do and what they're not, because free markets thrive on competition. That's how the customer gets the best options. Drives
Yeah.
prices down, things like that. But we're all familiar with Ticketmaster,
Yeah.
right? Um, and so Ticketmaster charges crazy prices, right? They control that market. Um, but the reality is, if people didn't pay those prices, they'd have to lower them or change something, right? So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, they charge crazy prices, but people still pay them because it's very important for people to go to every concert they want to go to and everything else. And they'll pay thousands of dollars and hundreds of dollars in parking. But people are really mad at Ticketmaster right now, and I don't blame them because some emails came out about their execs laughing and bragging about how they're able to rip people off. Um,
Oof.
so uh,
Not a good look.
Live Nation can, quote, gouge fans on fees, ticket directors brag. So, two Live Nation Entertainment Inc. ticketing directors bragged about the high fees on company charges that the company charges fans at its venues, joking in internal messages that the company is, quote, robbing them blind, and that, quote, these people are so stupid that, quote, I almost feel bad taking advantage of them. In a series of chats from 2022, Ben Baker and Jeff Weinhold, two regional directors of ticketing for Live Nation amphitheaters, boasted about their ability to raise so-called ancillary fees like parking, lawn chair rentals, and VIP access and still get concert goers to pay for them. In one exchange, Weinhold gloated about raising VIP parking costs at a Virginia concert venue to $250. He said, quote, "These people are so stupid. I almost feel bad taking advantage of them. I gouge them on Ansel prices." In another exchange, he bragged about charging $50 to park in the grass and $60 for closer grass. Robbing them blind, baby, he said. That's how we do it. The company said in a statement that the messages did not reflect its values. Baker is now the head of ticketing for the Live Nation unit, responsible for its 150 amphitheaters, and was expected to testify this week at a federal antitrust trial over claims that the company illegally monopolized the live events industry. His testimony was postponed after the U.S. Justice Department reached a settlement on Monday with Live Nation. A group of state attorney generals are expected to continue litigating the case against the company as soon as next week. In a court filing last week, Live Nation asked the judge to exclude 6 sets of Slack messages between the two men, arguing that they would unfairly prejudice the jury. The company redacted the descriptions of the chats in its brief. The Justice Department and state attorneys general opposed the request to exclude the chats, arguing they were evidence of how Live Nation uses its monopoly to degrade the fan experience. A group of media organizations, including Bloomberg, petitioned the court to unseal the documents. U.S. District Judge Aaron Subramanian ruled Wednesday the documents should be unsealed and ordered states suing Live Nation to make them publicly available. Live Nation said in a statement, "The Slack exchange from one junior staffer to a friend absolutely doesn't reflect our values or how we operate. Because this was a private Slack message, leadership learned of this when the public did, and will be looking into the matter promptly." Live Nation said that its settlement with the Justice Department would cap fees at its amphitheaters at 15% and that it has invested $1 billion over the last 18 months in its venues. Baker and Weinhold didn't immediately respond to requests for comment sent via social media. In its filing, the company said that Baker and Weinhold are friends, and the messages reflect off-the-cut banter, not policy, decision-making, or facts of consequence. Live Nation urged the court to exclude them from being introduced at the trial, arguing that their only purpose was to portray the company in an unflattering light and inflame the jury. I'll just say you can't say that shit when these mother suckers are actually doing it. Like, you can't just say, oh, they're just friends joking around, like it doesn't reflect our company policies. Like, they were setting the prices, so it absolutely affects the people. So it should be in there because it's probably a cultural part of your fucking company.
Yeah, I think companies exist to money. You know, like, here to take the money that you have and make it their own. That's like why they exist, right? Like, sure, they have a product, sure, they have a service, but at the end of the day, the product and service doesn't matter if they don't make money. And then you have this obsession with making money, and you get so obsessed with making money, you just do stupid shit, you piss everybody off, and you put in a system in place that usually requires most people to go buy through secondhand sellers anyway, you know, and get spiked, you know, get gouged an extra 500 or 600 bucks in some cases, you know. Like, God, I wonder what my Ozfest tickets would have been like if I wasn't sitting in that queue. I went to Ozfest in 2018. I have the tickets right here, and for a package for 2 days was $800, like, you know, and it was just, that was cheap, you know. I'm sure, like,
well, I mean, it's not that cheap, right? Like, you think about Ozfest 20 years ago, bro, the tickets were like $60. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think about Warped Tour. Warped Tour used to be $40 for like a whole day, all these like hundreds of bands, and now if you want to go to the 3 Warped Tours they have, it's like $200, $300, $400. It's same thing for Aftershock, right? If you want to come to Aftershock for all 4 days, you're going to spend $800 to $1,500. If you want to go to When We Were Young Fest in Las Vegas, you're going to spend $800. Like, this is what people pay now for these kind of things, right? It's like, and part of that is because of companies like Ticketmaster. But the other part of it is, like, this is one of those where 2 things are true at once. First of all, they shouldn't be gouging customers. But also, customers are willing to pay it. Like, they pay it, so they keep doing it. If people said $1,000 to see BTS is unreasonable, they wouldn't charge that because they wouldn't be able to sell enough tickets, and they need to sell those tickets to make money. And that's kind of where all of this comes from, right? Like, you and I are very familiar with, like, we can go to local concerts with pretty large bands in the genres we like and pay like $40. You know? Like, that's what we we see that as fair because that's what we pay. If I'm trying to buy tickets for fucking Lady Gaga and it's $1,500, I ain't paying that shit. But there are people who will. A lot of them.
Yeah.
So
There are people that will like bankrupt themselves to go to live experiences. I know that for a fact.
yeah. It's
So
it's that's the problem, right? Like it's a twofold problem. Like yes, antitrust laws should stop things like this from happening and should prevent being gouged this way. But as long as people are paying it, there could be an argument made that it's supply and demand. It's part of the free market. It's part of what our entire economic system is based on. If people are willing to pay those fees, they will continue to charge them. And as soon as people are not willing to, they have to change that. And so how do you make these things coexist? I don't know. I mean, the government should do more to probably help stop it, but again, people are paying it. So, but it's the same thing. Like, I went and saw Metallica. Bless you.
Sorry.
I saw Metallica at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara last year in June, right? And my ticket to see Metallica was $70, which is pretty good, right? That's not a bad ticket price. $70 to see Metallica and Pantera, like that's really good. But parking at Levi Stadium was $150.
Damn, that's crazy.
And you know what? I did not pay that shit.
Yeah, go find a parking garage. Go find a parking garage or something.
Well, there's really nothing around there. That's the thing, right? Levi Stadium is kind of like it's there, and then so what I did is I kind of researched the area, and I found like some side streets near some like businesses and housing, and I was a little nervous even parking there because you never know. But like I got up to a certain point in the street and it said like if you park beyond this point you'll be towed. But I didn't go beyond that point. I parked before that point on the street. I walked like a mile, maybe a mile and a half to the venue, and I didn't pay any parking, and my car was fine. So like I ain't paying $150 fucking dollars to park in a lot and then wait 3 hours to get out of the fucking lot as everybody's leaving together. You know, like it's fucking ridiculous. But people will pay it, so they charge it. And that's one of those things, right? If they're paying for parking like that and VIP experience and all this shit that they're getting away with overcharging for, because maybe they can't necessarily charge as much for the tickets, except when it's like very high demand, right? Like, but that's the thing. Like, I've had that experience. I ain't paying for fucking parking. I ain't doing that shit. $150 is fucking crazy. That's more than I spent for the 2 tickets I bought. So, it's actually insane. But yeah,
$150 is way too much, and the problem is the parking would be cheaper. Then it'd be like a rat race to get there first to get parking. Like that's. And I did that for Aftershock too. Aftershock you had to pay for parking, but I could park up the venue because it's at the county fairgrounds.
Well, Aftershock is at Discovery Park, which you can park in a lot of places. You can get Ubers from West Sac or any downtown over there. Like there's plenty of places you could park and get brought over there, or places around there I'm sure you can park. I haven't actually been over there, so I don't really know, but I live kind of close to there. Like when Aftershock goes on, I could hear it from where I live right now. So I can't like make out the bands all the time, but like you can hear the music, right? So there's plenty of ways to get to Aftershock without having to pay for parking, really. Like you could literally park by my house and like get a Uber, and it's like 5 minutes from here.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's only a couple other pieces of news. Did you watch the Lanterns trailer?
I heard about it, but I didn't watch it. No.
Well, people are mad because apparently there's not enough green and all this shit and whatever. You and I are the same. When the show comes out, we'll judge it based on that, not off the trailer and all this other nonsense, right? But the actor who's playing Jon Stewart, Aaron Pierre, is been confirmed that he will be in Man of Tomorrow, which is the Superman sequel, more or less. So we'll get a proper Green Lantern. I think we're trying to build our Justice League a little bit here under James Gunn. So Aaron Pierre will be in Man of Tomorrow. John Stewart Green Lantern. I'm guessing he's your favorite Green Lantern because you're a big JLA, Justice League of America animated
Yeah, the Marine,
character.
right? Yeah, I liked him a lot.
Yeah, so um, that's cool. And the other bit is Kate Winslet. You know who Kate Winslet is?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. She's been cast in The Hunt for Golem in the lead female role. Now,
Interesting.
now when you read lead female role in The Hunt for Golem, there are very few characters that could actually be, because for people who don't know, The Hunt for Golem is like it's gonna be a prequel to The Lord of the Rings. It's gonna be the story of Gandalf and Aragorn hunting Gollum. Eventually, they capture him. He's looked after by the elves in Mirkwood, and eventually escapes and all this shit, right?
And this is this something from actual Tolkien lore? Is this something that was touched upon, or was it like?
Yeah, it's talked about in A Shadow of the Past, the like the second or third chapter of the Fellowship of the Ring, when Gandalf is telling Frodo like the whole history of the ring, pretty much, and how he went and searched for Gollum with his friend, who was later we find out is Aragorn, and they talked more about it at the Council of Elrond, about how Sauron found out about Bilbo and the Shire, and all that stuff. So that's all like it's all lore within Tolkien. But on top of that, in the appendices, they talk about Gollum's childhood a little bit, and who he was before he was Gollum, before he found the ring. And so if they do stuff with that, because I'm assuming Kate Winslet is not playing an elf, to be honest. Like, I highly doubt she's playing an elf. But she might be playing Gollum's grandmother, because she's a pretty prominent figure in his history, and she was never kind very much to Smeagol, and Smeagol would steal things from her and whatever. And then once he found the ring, it made it way easier to steal things from her. And eventually, everybody knew he was a thief. He got exiled from his community and things like that, and blah blah blah. And then he went off in the Misty Mountains and whatever. So that's my guess as to who she'll probably be playing, but it can't be that significant of a role unless they like do a massive like backstory on Gollum before whatever how they tie it in with the Lord of the Rings. So
Yeah.
But Elijah Wood did also, he was doing an interview and he pretty much said as long as he's alive and capable, he does not want anyone else playing Frodo. So it's possible he'll be in that movie too, but we'll see. We know Aragorn will be recast. Viggo Mortensen said he's not coming back. But Ian McKellen will be in it, and Andy Serkis will probably, obviously, reprise his role as Gollum. So anyway, that's pretty much all the news. There was one more thing. It's not that important, but essentially, Game of Thrones might get a movie about Aegon's conquest, so who knows. Anyway, we're gonna review Predator's Badlands.
This Game of Thrones stuff, man, they're really milking it, aren't they?
Well, I mean, as long as people keep watching their spin-offs, yeah, they'll keep milking it. And Night of the Seven Kingdoms was like the most watched show while it was airing. Like it got like the.
I need to watch that. I heard it was really good.
It was really good. It's short. There's only 6 episodes. Most of them are only like 25 to 35 minutes long. Like it won't take you long to watch it, and it's good stuff. The first couple episodes are a little slow, as all Game of Thrones and all Game of Thrones spin-offs are, but it picks up and it gets really good. So, highly encourage that. But yeah, we're just gonna talk about Predator Badlands.
Hell yeah, that movie was badass.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. Yeah, it's obviously a different kind of movie, because most of the Predator movies center around some people, like some humans, and then the Predator is kind of like not tertiary, but they're like the villains, right? They come in there doing their shit and they're murking mother suckers and whatnot. In this movie, really, your main character is Deck, who is a Predator. And
Yakcha, or however you pronounce it, Yaktua, Yakcha, or whatever the fuck.
Yaktua. Yeah. And then we have a little android lady, and a little monkey thingy guy who's pretty cool. Um, yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I mean, I think people who don't like it are just angry or people looking for things to be upset about. Um, because there's really nothing to be upset about. I don't think it breaks any kind of Predator lore in any bad way or anything. Um, it was really sad. Obviously, spoiler warning if you haven't watched it. We're only fucking 5 months now after it came out, but
Yeah,
uh,
5 months late. It's on literally on streaming now.
but yeah, like when his brother died and shit, that was pretty sad. You
Yeah.
know. Um, and then yeah, he has to go to like this like crazy planet where like everybody like is dying and shit, and there's like all sorts of monsters. And he has to go hunt the ultimate monster. What was it called? What was that thing called? Do you remember?
Don't remember.
Yeah, I haven't watched it for like 3 weeks, but yeah, he's
I
got to.
watched it last Monday. No, it was Sunday. Last Sunday I watched it, so it's been a bit.
Yeah.
Things come and go. I'm a stoner. Got bad short-term memory.
Anyway,
But
yeah, he's got to go hunt this big monster. Um,
yeah,
and he makes some friends along the way. It's a nice little adventure. He's a runt. He's got to prove himself to his dad and all that shit. And then he becomes friends with the monster. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty cool. They become friends.
yep,
And then he goes home and kills his dad.
hell yeah.
So I mean, he becomes the Predator. Um, yeah, I don't know. It was just a really enjoyable movie. It was like it has some cool action, it has some cool adventure, some cool monsters. I thought it was really neat, really neat.
Yeah, cool environment. I like the razor grass fields. I think that the use of CGI was really well done in this movie. I like that the corporation, the Weyland-Yutani Corporation, which is like which really kind of connects the alien and
Yep,
the alien and the Predator franchise together.
yep, yeah,
Was used, and they have like a force of synths like deployed to the planet, like synthetic humans and stuff like that, and like how the antagonist is like a synth on like a rampage, like to prove herself to the company and stuff like that, and it's just it's really good stuff, man. Like it was really entertaining. Like I was surprised like how like how humanizing they made Deck, and like how the interactions between Deck and the half android lady, who was, I forget who played her, but
Elle
she was like
Fanning.
really so. Yeah, Fanning, yeah.
Yeah,
She was really good for just walking around on arms and limbs and stuff like that. It was really cool looking.
yeah, and I'm glad they
And
they haven't completely abandoned the practical effects on the Predators, because I feel like it's probably easy to do that now with all the digital effects and everything. But the practical effects look really good for the Predators, so I'm glad it's like a good mix. And yeah, just like seeing like all the different weapons and different ways to like kill things and all the different environmental factors. Like it was really just a fun movie. Like sure, it's not like any great consequence from the movie. It is what these movies are supposed to be. They're just supposed to be entertaining, fun movies. So like they didn't do anything egregious, like killing off the main characters from the previous movie and all that shit that happens in some of these kind of monster movies that go wrong. But it was fun, and I liked it, and I'm excited to see more when we eventually get more.
yep, same, absolutely.
Yeah,
Excited to see their continuation of Dak and friends on like some next big adventure,
on the
or just excited for another Predator movie, or like what would be the best is a new Alien versus Predator movie, because I feel like they could do a really good job with that
yeah, make a
in the
good
modern
one.
age.
Like make a good one,
Yeah,
because I don't think there's been a single good one.
yeah, but I feel like they could make a really good one.
Yeah, they absolutely can.
Um,
So
I watched Predator Killer of Killers too, the cartoon. Did you
yeah,
watch that?
yeah, yeah, that shit's cool. Like
It was cool.
you kind of start like you don't really know what's going on. Like it kind of feels like the old Predator movies a little bit, right? Where it's like you start with like these human cultures or whatever, and a Predator is gonna show up and whatever. But then how it kind of builds on that, right? Like it's like individual stories where the Predators are like capturing these humans that turn out to be like great warriors, right? Like they defeated a Predator, so they get captured, and then like the predators essentially have like the Colosseum kind of thing, right? Now you all must kill
Mhm.
each other, and the greatest of you warriors will get to fight one of us, and then we'll kill you too. Like, so I thought that was really cool, and I thought it was really well done. The animation, like from advertisements, kind of concern me a little bit because sometimes it can be a little wonky, but the actual animation when you're watching it is really good.
Yeah, it is really good, and I thought it was cool watching the Predator fight. A bunch of World War II planes, even though they didn't stand a chance because it was like a sci-fi spaceship versus World War II planes.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that killers thing. That was cool.
Yeah.
At first I thought it was like a movie, or I mean, like I thought it was like a TV show, but it's like an hour and a half, right? And it's like three like short stories, kind of that build all together.
Yeah.
So you had like the Viking one, you had the samurai guy, and then you had the World War II fighter plane. Was it World War II or World War One? One of those. I think it was World War II though. It's like the fighter plane guy. So yeah, that was cool stuff. It was cool stuff. So Dan Trachtenberg has been doing really good stuff with the Predator, and then there was this like news that like he signed this big deal with Paramount, and like all these haters were like, ha ha ha, he no more Predator movies, blah blah blah, like, and then he came out and said, no, I'm still gonna do Predator stuff, but I'm also gonna do this shit. So hopefully we get some more stuff.
Yep. Hopefully.
Yeah. Anyway,
What else?
what
What else is cool about Predator Badlands? I watched the two first episodes of Wonder Man. It's a very deep cutting show. Like it's like Oscar bait almost.
yeah, I mean, for people like us, I think like for the general consumer, not consumer, the general viewer, like most of us don't know. Like it's very meta in the way that it's like a show about shows, right? It's like a inside Hollywood kind of thing in some ways, and we don't really know what that's like. So there's like a little disconnect there, but it's really obviously kind of a more human story, which is where these stories thrive the most. Um, the main character is not your typical main character though, right? Like Simon Williams is not a likable character to a point. Like you root for him a little bit, but like he's not really a likable character. So it's one of those that it can be a little tough to really get on board with. But I thought it was great. I thought it was really good. So when you finish it, then we could talk more about it.
Yeah.
But your initial
I like
impression?
the first two episodes. Like this Ben Kingsley guy and this dude just playing Wonder Man. Well, he's not Wonder Man. The dude with the powers. I forgot his name.
Yeah,
Already
Simon
the dude with
Williams.
Simon Williams. Yeah, and it's just they have like really deep monologues and stuff like that go on for a long time, and there's been just so far no action or anything like that at all. It's just all drama. So this is just different from the other Marvel shows for sure. They use like really specific camera angles and stuff like that too. Like it's like widescreen, right? It's not full.
Yeah, it's very cinematic.
It's very cinematic. Um, yeah, I'm interested to watch more. I just haven't had the chance to sit down and watch more Disney.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play some more Warcraft after this, so I got a level 2, so I'll probably put that on and level more Warcraft while I'm doing this.
Yeah, I gotta start packing. I move in 2 weeks, pretty much.
Hmm.
That's gonna yeah. So I pretty much only have this weekend as like a weekend to move because next Friday I'm getting a small medical procedure, and so I can't be on my feet apparently for 2 days after that. It'd probably be fine. It'd probably be fine. But they're like, yeah, you can't be getting up and walking around other than to like shower and use the restroom. So fucking stupid. So I'm pretty sure I'd be fine though. Like, oh, what's gonna happen? Okay, I'll get some swelling. Ooh, big deal. Who fucking cares? I'll just get some frozen peas or some shit. You know. Anyway, so yeah, I really pretty much only have this weekend to pack, and then we're moving the weekend of the 28th, and so I gotta get everything fucking packed. I gotta get shit gone. All this fucking extra shit that we don't need. I got a lot of stuff that we don't need. So, um, I don't know if you want anything, but I got a lot of shit. So
No, I'm good on the. I live with my parents. I don't deserve
Yeah.
to have more knickknacks or anything like that. I have no shelves. My bookshelf that I have in my computer room is full, so I'm not buying any more knickknacks or any more little books to put on here or anything like that. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, bro. So last week we didn't podcast because I was at a work industry event in Anaheim. But one of the nights we went to downtown Disney for dinner with our vendor partners, and so afterward, we're in downtown Disney. So I'm going to the fucking Star Wars store because I'm in downtown Disney, right? So I went to
Mhm.
the Star Wars store, and I really wanted to buy Ahsoka's old Clone Wars lightsabers. I really wanted to. But I'd asked the guy working, I was like, yo, how big is the box he's coming? He was like, bro, it's like this big. Bro, it's fucking massive. I had one backpack I brought. I only brought carry on. I didn't have luggage and shit. And I was flying home the next day, and I didn't buy them. And I'm sad. I'm sad now. I should have bought them. I could have figured out a way to get them home, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have them now, and it makes me sad because
Yeah.
I like Ahsoka's lightsabers,
Yeah, they're pretty cool
and they
looking.
can light up blue or green, right? Because she had the green ones originally, and then eventually they were blue, and that's fucking cool. I
Yeah.
like her with blue lightsabers over the green ones, in over the white little katana ones too. Those ones are okay, but I wouldn't buy those ones. I would buy the OG ones. So I'm sad. I'm sad that I don't have them. I still got Mace Windu back here, back there. That's a cool one. But next time we podcast, all this shit might be packed up. So, it'll be a really boring background that you'll have to look at.
Oh well. We all gotta make sacrifices.
We all have to make sacrifices. But when I move, I'll have better internet. So, that
Maybe
that's
we
a
stream some games or something.
yeah, definitely. And also, I don't know if you saw, but and Nerdy Boys Reviews may be making a comeback, okay? We may be making a comeback. Me and Captain Hot
Damn.
Sauce, where it's going to be different than this. So I'm still going to do this with you, obviously, but it's going to be
Yeah.
more of a variety kind of podcast where we'll do like a little bit like kind of like game kind of stuff or like, little debate topics that, I know he has really strong opinions on things. So it'll be like easy to have kind of those conversations around like why he hates Han Solo so much, right?
Yeah.
Things like that, and like blind ranking shit, and like all like just like random variety kind of show game stuff. And so we'll still do like news here and like different kind of reviews and our normal conversations. So nothing will change for us, but it's been a while, and I feel like Captain Hot Sauce, he's got a lot of stuff that he needs to get out. He needs to talk about some shit.
Mhm.
So, but that'll be separate, and I don't know. It'll be very very infrequent too, probably like once a month maybe. So, but yeah, we'll still cover all your favorite news about all the stupid shit happening, and we'll talk about our movie shit because hey, there's gonna be some movies coming out soon. 2 months away is The Mandalorian and Grogu.
And I'm gonna drive up to see that with you.
Oh,
Well, I don't
okay.
know. You're gonna have to
But
drive now too. A little. How far away is the Delta Shores from your new place?
that's like 40 minutes.
Okay.
It's not awful, but it's not great. But
Yeah.
it's not as far as you have to come. So
Yeah, an hour 20. Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
depending. I mean, if
On traffic.
probably
Yeah.
when you go home, it's probably only an hour, but coming
Yeah.
in, it's more because it's always traffic, always bloody
Yeah.
traffic. So, all right, well, I don't got anything else. I don't think you got anything else. So that's everything. And make sure you click all the buttons, like, comment, rate, review, subscribe, do all the things, and we'll see you next time.
Later.
Ciao. Ciao, ciao.